All right, guys, thank you so much for coming to our workshop on promoting diversity, equity, and inclusivity in STEM and in FIRST particularly. My name is Adelia. I'm from 1678, and I am the LGBTQ in FIRST representative.
I'm Jasmine. I was the Diversity in STEM lead my sophomore year of high school, and I now head our Impact Awards sub-team.
I'm Zoe, and I'm the STEM engagement coordinator.
I'm Heather. I'm a member of Team 1967.
I'm Tegan. I'm a member of 1967.
Alright, so to begin with defining a couple terms. So, in the case of diversity, with diversity, it's all the attributes that make us different, that differentiate us. But it is important that we practice the art of including a range of different socioeconomic, ethnic, and minority backgrounds, as well as different genders and sexual orientations, whether it be in the workplace, community, or robotics team. Alright, so equity, more on this later, but equity is the recognition that every single person comes from different circumstances, some being extenuating, and allocating the tools and resources necessary for everybody to reach an equal outcome. And then lastly, inclusion, which is the policy of providing equal access to opportunities and resources, and ensuring that everyone feels heard, whether you come from like an excluded or marginalized community or have a disability. By including various voices, we ensure that everyone feels heard. Alright, so I always think it's nice to kind of include a diagram of such an important concept. So on the left here, we have equality, and then on the right, it's depicting equity. So as we can see on the left for equality, everyone has the same crate. They're all standing on the same crate. But is this necessarily fair? No. Because the adult here can see pretty much a lot of the game, while the child here can't really see any of the game. However, when we take a look at the equity side, we see that by adding more crates for the younger child specifically, and then adding just one crate for the child in the middle, it's ensuring that everyone has a level playing field.
So a little bit about our team's demographics. So the graphs here show how much of our team is which race, and you can see how it really hasn't changed throughout the years except for the amount of members we have. But one of our mentors strongly believes that diversity isn't about having a percentage, a percentage of every single race. It's about reflecting your community. So Davis is a predominantly white community where over 50% of the population is white. So that is reflected here. And our team is also over 50% male, and yeah, you can see that that's pretty not that great, but that's why this presentation is so important, that we really emphasize about empowering women and being absolutely sure that every girl on your team or non-binary person is heard and can do the work that they want to accomplish on the team without being excluded or feeling uncomfortable.
Alright, so on the Jinksters, we have a all-girls and non-binary team, and as you can see throughout the years, we have greatly increased the amount of students that we have on our team, and it shows how much we have been including more women in STEM through the amount of Jinkster growth.
Specifically shown through these pictures, in 2005 we only had 12 members, and just last season we grew to almost 67 members, and I think it's even more this year.
So a bit about our DSTEM history. I couldn't fit it all on one slide, but we'll start with WeSTEM. This was the first initiative that we founded in 2014, and our first event was a Women in STEM panel. And then in 2018, we changed WeSTEM into DSTEM, Diversity in STEM, to ensure that all voices felt included and welcomed. And then that December of 2018, we started our WISE, our Women in STEM Empowerment Program. In 2021, we became an LGBTQ+ and FIRST partner. And then in 2023, we expanded our WISE events to neighboring towns, and we also started Girl Scout tours. So you might see Zoe actually tomorrow. She'll be leading a couple Girl Scouts through the pits, as well as they'll watch a couple matches. And then lastly, this year we started a Unified Robotics chapter. Alright, so We think that it's really important as a team not only to promote diversity like within our team, but throughout our community as well. Within our team, it all really starts with recruitment. We reach out to all the local middle schools in our area, and we ensure that we are targeting every single student. So not just the students who are already in a robotics class and have shown interest towards STEM, but we make sure that we give a presentation at every English class because it is a mandatory subject that everyone has to take, which will ensure that everyone gets exposed to this new area and has the opportunity to join our team. Within our team, we have a bonding night. I really like it. It's a place where women and non-binary members of our team all get together about once or twice a year. During this bonding night, we have done bowling. One of my favorite activities was what our mentors would be as Disney characters. My captain actually gave a slideshow on that. But it's not all fun. We also do talk about how we can be more inclusive on our team and start a lot of discourse on that. We also host D-seminars, diversity in STEM seminars. Recently, we hosted a racial diversity in STEM seminar, and this year we are planning our disabilities in STEM seminar for this fall or upcoming spring. And it's just a place where we talk to various people within the STEM fields and gain a deeper appreciation and knowledge for why diversity in STEM is so important. And then we also like to reduce financial barriers wherever possible. As a team, we believe that everyone, no matter their socioeconomic status, should have the ability to participate in STEM and robotics. So we have youth program scholarships for our Davis Youth Robotics programs. And that's why Davis Youth Robotics Schools is actually my favorite. It's an after-school program where kids can just come after school. There's no upfront cost, as well as there's no time needed to be allocated to travel to a meeting. And then our team is really grateful to also be able to cover all travel expenses for our team members.
So one of our programs that promotes diversity and inclusion is WISE, which stands for Women in STEM Empowerment. And the goal of WISE is to inspire young girls, grades 3rd through 8th, provide them with a safe environment and accessible way to explore STEM. And one of the ways we do this is through monthly WISE events. So at these events, we set up various science activities for kids at our local library. But we don't only just limit it to our local library, we also expand to communities that don't have FRC teams like Dixon and Fairfield. And we also apply WISE to our already existing programs such as RoboCamps. And like Jasmine said, at Capital City Classic and SAC Regional, we also offer Girl Scout tours to give young girls exposure to FRC and robotics. So creating your own WISE program. First of all, if you're interested or have any questions about creating your own WISE program, please do not hesitate to contact us at thestem@citruscircuits.org because it is a lot of time commitment and it is just kind of difficult overall, but we would be more than happy to help. But if you want to get a head start right now, you can go ahead and start discussing with your leading mentors about if your team has sufficient budget, if your team has the time to even do this, and you also need a lot of volunteers for a lot of different activities. And an easy way to start implementing WISE into your team is by applying it to already existing programs. For example, how we implemented a WISE week for our RoboCamps. And then you can also reach out to your local library to start having your own WISE events. And then from there, you can do whatever you want.
All right, so one of our programs that the Jingsters head in order to empower women in our communities is Young Women's Engineering Symposium, or YWES. And at this event, we invite female engineers to give seminars to our students, and any students who are interested in sort of learning more about engineering, especially if they haven't been exposed to STEM before. And we have had this program running for about 10 years now, and it was started by one of our alums, Regina Walker, and it has really helped empower the women in our communities. And we also have a flyer in the back, and we'd encourage you guys to take a photo of the QR codes that if you guys are interested, you can come and learn more from the women in STEM.
Another program we do is LEAD. Basically, our school, Notre Dame San Jose, invites over 40 7th grade girls to develop their leadership, communication, and collaborative skills through workshops, specifically with our FRC team. We've taught them coding skills, and we've let them drive our robot, and we've shown them demos of it. And we have engineering-based workshops. And over the past 11 years, we've impacted over 230 students.
All right, so what our team does to support the LGBTQ community in our community and also in our robotics team, we are part of LGBTQ at First, which is a program throughout First that is run by mostly students and also facilitated by mentors, but they basically facilitate events throughout all of First that promote awareness of the LGBTQ community and give LGBTQ members in First areas to meet up and talk and feel safe. And so our partnership began in 2021. We started off in the bronze tier and we're working our way towards the silver tier now. These, there are 3 different tiers, obviously bronze, silver, and then gold. And you can advance in these tiers by hosting different events like the one we're doing now and creating more opportunities within your team. So, and I am the LGBTQ First Rep. Every year we nominate a new LGBTQ First Rep, and they work with the leadership, and they also plan events like these. All right, so community outreach. In the past, we have done Pride Month posts. So every Pride Month and every week, we have different posts, social media posts on our Instagram that highlight notable LGBTQ people in STEM, and that kind of just creates a discourse within our community, within our team, and it shows that these people exist, they impact what we do in our everyday lives, and they're important to us. And we also engage in Pride events in our community. So Davis, where we are located, hosts a Phoenix Coalition. The Davis Phoenix Coalition hosts an event during Pride Month that we attend and we do tabling at, and we also bring our robots to that. And so it's a whole fun Pride event where you have a bunch of people showing up. They have performances going on, and it's great just to have a presence there and get out information about our team. All right, within the team and within FRC, we've done multiple Pride shirts in the past, so like the one I'm wearing now, we have, and we're working on making the progressive Pride flag shirt. But we've also done the trans flag. We wore that to a competition a couple of years ago, and wearing these, we partnered with other teams to create these shirts. And we've also done a lot of pins, and we've done pronoun pins in the past. So having inclusive discussions, like the one we're doing now, kind of, that create this discourse within our community is really important. We've also done bonding nights within our team that are that we do once a year, and we sit down with anybody who wants to come, and we talk about the history of LGBTQ in First, and we talk about what we do on our team, and we talk about how people are being supported, and through that we can actually improve our experience. So through these things we've actually started making LGBTQ pins, and it was through this bonding night that we decided to make the progress shirts, which are the progress flag. And so we find it important to express our pronouns wherever we are, because that kind of allows people to ask you about how you identify, and it also makes people feel more comfortable about telling you their own pronouns. And so in our Slack profiles, which is how we communicate, it's required that everybody has their pronouns listed there, just so we know what to call people and they don't even have to express it to us. We just address them by how they need to be addressed.
All right, so Unified Robotics is a new program that we are piloting this year. We are the first team in California to start a chapter, and we use Lego Spike Prime robotics kits. So this is a program that is dedicated for neurodiverse or individuals with disabilities, and it hopes to open lots of doors within STEM. All right, so Citrus for Change is a program that we started on our team because we wanted to recognize the causes that are important to our team members. So Adelia is actually wearing one. We started this in 2020. And then you can see that in 2021, for example, we did the Black Lives Matter movement. We create shirts or pins as well as stickers, and individuals on our team have the option to buy these, and all the profits get donated to local charities. So for example, in 2021, we created the Mental Health Awareness shirt, and all the profits got donated to NAMI, which stands for the National Alliance of Mental Illness. And we've raised almost about $2,000 through this program.
Alright, so on the Jinksters, we also have an LGBTQ of plus section. And in this program, we have provided pronouns pins to many people at regional competitions and at our showcase every year. And this allows everyone to be addressed how they want to be. And we also have given out pamphlets sort of addressing how LGBTQ of plus works, LGBTQ plus of first works, and we have bring awareness and inclusivity to the LGBTQ plus community in STEM.
We're also part of the menstrual equity initiative with Team 1868. We provide feminine products, leggings, and more to every competition. And we want to promote a safe environment for everyone, including women in STEM.
Every year, the Jinksters creates ties to show how our team is sort of approaching that year's challenge. So as you can see throughout the years, it sort of is based on the theme of that year. And this slide sort of shows how we have sort of worked towards including more people in this STEM initiatives by throughout the years on our team. So we started out in 2006 when we formed the team, and it was focused on empowering girls, which is a main point of our mission. And then in 2012, we started using CAD, which shows how we have been sort of incorporating major STEM practices. And then in 2013, we established our summer boot camp and the LEAD program, as we discussed earlier, which bring more women into STEM. And in 2014, we started the Young Women's Engineering Symposium so that more people could hear from female engineers. In 2022, we moved out of our small closet lab into the CWL lab during the first year back from the pandemic, which has allowed more people to join our team. And just recently, in 2024, we formed 2 new FLL teams at St. Martin's and 2 new FLL teams at St. Lawrence, so to encourage more people to get involved.
All right, so what can we do to make our teams more inclusive? Obviously, we have to start within our team and then move outwards. So organizing a bonding night just to kind of get information from your members and have a space where they can talk about these things without feeling they're being judged. Getting team member feedback on how they're being treated, on how they're feeling, and noticing things that you might not notice when you're going about everyday meetings. So what our team has done, as we talked about earlier, is organize diversity seminars. These are pretty easy to do as long as you have communications, we're able to reach out to people. So what we've done in the past is reach out to members of UC Davis, even undergrads, graduate students, and professors who are in the STEM community, diverse members of the STEM community, and they're always willing to talk and share their experience and having discussions with the entire team, talking to people who have gone through what we've experienced and what they're doing with their lives now is a great way to start this discourse. Targeting recruitment. So where is the most accessible place in your community? Knowing where to go when you're looking for people who may not be going straight to your program, who may not already know that they want to be in your program. Targeting people who think that based on how they were raised, based on what they've dealt with in the past, they are not capable of being in your program, because robotics is for everyone, and it's great to make sure everybody knows that they are welcome in these programs. And by what Jasmine talked about, we're reaching out to every member of middle schools, and also having these presentations done by diverse people will make them see that we are in STEM, and you can be too. And then, so support causes team members are interested in. Like we talked about earlier, we want our team to reflect our community. So whatever people are engaging in outside of robotics, like if they're maybe doing, if they're working with community groups and they're maybe doing community events, you want to participate in these events so we know that we're showing up in ways that our community members find are valuable. And then using social media is always a great way to do it. So having multiple social media platforms and actively posting on these so we can get community members to talk to us and we are able to talk to them. All right, so it's important. So what can we do to make our team more inclusive? We can also start new programs. So how do we start these programs? LGBTQ in First, they have a website that I think we linked later in the slideshow. But as long as you join the Discord server, we can talk to a lot of those lead a lot of those leadership, a lot of the LGBTQ and STEM leadership, and they'll tell you how to do it. There's a form that you can fill out that's actually just been released. And then you can plan events with your team and community. And like I talked about, bronze level, silver level, gold level, as you plan more events, you're able to progress there. And then they're going to put you on their website as well.
And then if you were interested in starting Girl Scouts workshops or Girl Scout tours, for Girl Scout workshops, if you were interested in starting one, they're honestly pretty similar to any STEM event, but they have to be like specifically specified towards a certain Girl Scout badge requirements. For example, if you choose to target towards brownies, a Girl Scout robotics badge for brownies, there are 3 badges: showcasing robots, designing robots, and programming robots. So you have to choose out of like the 3 badges which one is most applicable towards you and your team and your goals. And then once you choose that, if you look through the pamphlet online on the Girl Scouts webpage, you can find all the instructions needed to earn the badge. And based on the instructions, you can kind of cater those activities and the events towards earning this badge. And if you are interested in starting a Girl Scout tour, would you like to talk more about that, Zoe?
Oh, yeah, so if you're interested in starting a Girl Scout tour at your next off-season competition, or I'd recommend actually thinking about if you wanted to do tours at a regional, since I think the most important thing you do with Girl Scout tours is start early so that you can start advertising early. And yeah, there's on the Girl Scout website, there's like a little finder button where you can find Girl Scout troops in your area. So then you can reach out to Girl Scout troops if they're interested in having a robotics store.
So whether or not you decide to pursue any outreach activities, starting discourse and conversation about such a subject can actually greatly increase, the amount of discourse about the subject, which can actually lead you to create new programs in the end.
All right, we left a lot of time for discussion, so we'd love to hear from you guys. What else can we do, and then what do your teams do to promote diversity, and how did these programs started? You guys have any questions, comments? Yeah?
So first of all, it was a really good presentation, so thank you for that. I had a question more about kind of starting off. So our team recently grew in size, basically tripled over the last year, and so we're trying to figure out, I'm the vice president for our team, also the pool director, so I'm trying to figure out kind of moving parts. And I want to make this team as inclusive as possible for our incoming members, because that's something that I struggled with when I first got my start into robotics. So minus the bonding events, because I want it to be less of, the women on our team are already very comfortable with each other, which is not something that I'm scared about. It's more of having them be comfortable with everybody else, and vice versa. So do you think the bonding events could be applicable to everybody in that situation?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, if you can make them mandatory, that's a great idea, but also inviting everybody possible, being this is a place where we're discussing this, but it's not just for these people, because this discussion does not need to be had within just us anymore. We've had that discussion enough times. So I think really making these events as open as possible and having as much fun as possible can really make you guys bond with each other, and it makes it much easier to have these conversations. I would also talk about I find the seminars are really helpful because you meet people of all different types, and you're able to see these people in positions of leadership and positions where they're making money, and then even having discussions within your team after they leave and talking about that.
Thank
But
you.
yeah. You guys have anything to say on that?
No,
Okay.
you captured
It's a great
it
question though.
perfectly.
And congrats on growing your team in size.
Thank you.
Anything else? Yeah?
So I'm from Ontario's, and our team has often focused on diversity and inclusion in our team, but we're trying to branch out. And thank you guys so much for explaining about all the things you've done in your community. And I'm just wondering, what would you say to a team who's very new to that and kind of just starting to work more on including communities and starting with libraries and Girl Scout tours and all of that? That was very cool. So yeah, any advice?
Okay, so for specifically on WISE events, sorry, what locality are you from?
Around Mountain View.
Mountain View? Okay. That's not that far are, but with Digital Minds, they're based in Woodland. We help them create their own WISE event by first like showing them around our WISE events at our local library, and then having them plan out a WISE event at their library, and also we were there to assist them. So we would totally love to do that with your team. So you can just email us. I think that's the easiest way, so we can just like give you a straightforward like, you know, presentation, I guess, on how to plan WISE events. And then I think, are you interested in doing Girl Scout tours?
Yeah, definitely. I thought a lot of things that you guys presented on were really cool, and that would be really nice to incorporate.
I think that once you first like start working towards creating some STEM events, it gets a lot easier to start hosting Girl Scouts events. We started hosting WISE events for about like 5 years before we transitioned to Girl Scout workshops. This is actually going to be our first this November, so I'm pretty excited. But I think that once you are pretty comfortable and familiar with STEM events, then it would be an easy transition towards Girl Scouts events. And then we would also be happy to help with that as well.
Thank you so much.
I definitely say like having leadership that's targeted at doing this, and having like a lot of people who can talk about that. And then like if they're doing events together, then you can have like somebody has some idea, like we talked about, people that are engaged in things in their community. Like, oh, I do this, let's also reach out to that. Just having a group of people that are dedicated to doing that is like really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the issues that we struggled with, because we were really centered on the robot. And then they were like, oh, we should probably have an outreach manager. And they're like, why don't I do it? And then I literally started like last year, but I had no clue what I was doing, and so this was really helpful. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, let us know if you have any questions. Just feel free to email us.
Any other questions? All right.
Alright, I think we have a couple of surveys. So this one is just for us. It's basically what your team does, and then if you have any specific questions that you weren't able to ask now. And then we've got another survey after this, so take your time.
Actually, I did want to ask something.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, it's kind of like an idea combined with a question at the end. But basically, what our team did when we noticed that there weren't a lot of girls on the team was we started an all-girls FTC team for high school, and then we started another one for middle school, and then 2 FLL for lower school, and it worked really well. We got a lot of more girls in the middle school now joined our team this year, and it's really helped because, like, you know, my freshman year there was literally only 2 girls in the entire freshman grade on the team. So it really did help us include that. But then now our problem kind of is that obviously we have our girls who really care about increasing that kind of thing, but I feel like the rest of the team, sometimes we struggle with directing the entire team towards having a focus on that kind of inclusion. So like, what would be suggestions for how to encourage that and explain why that's important for a team?
Does your team host events like diversity and STEM seminars?
We've done seminars on like girls and STEM and stuff, but I don't think anything specific on diversity.
Okay, so I think that's like a really great place to start. And specifically having a dedicated time for Q&A. We have about like 30 minutes for it. And I think it really gives people a sense of like why it's so important to have these conversations, as well as why is it so important to have diversity in STEM. Right, ensuring that everyone's voice is heard, because I think that a lot of people don't get exposed to these ideas unless you create discourse about them.
The other thing is, does your team have a lot of female mentors?
We have one.
Okay. I mean, our team struggles with that as well, but definitely getting female mentors and being able to have these mentor interactions with them, it can be really beneficial to that. Yeah. Thanks for asking your question. All right, we have another survey. You can go to the next one. This is just about fall workshop. Oh wait, this is our quote from our amazing mentor, Jen, who is not here today, unfortunately. But we talked about this earlier, that being diverse is not about having a certain percentage of each group. Your team should reflect your community. And this is the fall workshop survey. So thank you all for doing it.